From freedomarchives.org, we have Wounded Knee 1973, Part 9. What is the Tribal Council and who is Dick Wilson? Tribal councils were imposed on every tribe in 1934 by the U.S. government. The members of these leadership councils were to be elected democratically by the Indian people. This imposed form of government did not fit with the Indian culture or traditional government, where councils or chiefs or spiritual leaders have made decisions with their people for centuries. Indian people on many reservations have refused to recognize the voting process because it isn't needed. Many Indians have consistently refused to vote in tribal elections and regard the councils for what they are: institutions of the white man. The Brule Sioux on South Dakota's Rosebud Reservation have seethed for many years over a series of corrupt tribal officials. On the neighboring Pine Ridge Reservation, discussed with Richard Wilson's tribal council was brought to a head and resulted in the repossession of Wounded Knee. Crows, Northern Cheyennes, Hopis, and Navajos have had serious internal divisions over their secretive leasing activities of their tribal leaders. And numerous other groups, including the Mohawks in New York State, the Cherokees and other tribes in Oklahoma, and Indians at Pesquis in New Mexico, and in Minnesota, Nebraska, the Northwest, and through the Dakotas, have been in continuous conflict with their tribal governments. In recent years, there has been more money available to these councils from U.S. appropriations and white interests who want to rip off land. This has created small political and economic Indian establishment on many reservations. The U.S. government, by refusing to recognize traditional leaders, has encouraged this development. It has resulted in corrupt little tyranny, made up sometimes of tribal councils, their friends and relatives, or sometimes just the tribal chairman and his treasurer. These groups work with government officials and white business interests to exploit the reservation resources and the people. Who is Dick Wilson? Dick Wilson is the head of the corporate tribal council of Pine Ridge Reservation. He has once been thrown off the reservation previous to his election when he was caught embezzling money from the Sundance. The Sundance is a yearly Indian religious ritual turned into a profit-making tourist attraction that even Indians have to pay to see. He reappeared in 1971 to run in the BIA election for chairman of the council. He was backed financially by a Rapid City businessman who owns Midwestern Homes, which builds house trailers. This businessman also shares in owning the World Travel Inc., which gives red carpet tours of reservations. Wilson won the election largely because of low voter turnout. Since his election, there have been 4 attempts to impeach him. They have failed for questionable reasons. The last one, that Dick Wilson was presiding over his own impeachment proceedings and refused to allow non-supporters to speak or to submit petitions. Dick Wilson's salary is $18,000 of BIA money per year. The median yearly income of a family on Pine Ridge is $1,335. And that was not a lot in the 70s either. All the various social agencies like FHA, OEO, welfare, Social Security, and old age pensions are run by Wilson's friends and relatives, and they are little help to the people. This is the man that the U.S. government is trying to keep in power.